missed a lot of sunsets. I was always looking down at a screen or at a schedule, at the next thing coming around. I missed a lot of conversations, half listening at best, nodding at the surface, not giving what was blessed. To be right there in front of me, a person, a moment, a meal, something worth the full attention, something worth the real showing up of all of me, not just the part that nods. I was present in the body, but my mind was miles abroad. It took a long time slowing, it took some kind of wall to make me stop and reckon with the missing of it all. The missing of the present, the missing of the near. Slow down, the good is right here. Slow down, the good is here. Slow down, the good is here, not somewhere further on. Slow down, the good is here, before the moment's gone. I spent so long arriving at the next thing and the next. Slow down, the good is here. It's written in the text of every ordinary morning, of every handed cup. Slow down, the good is here, and I am waking up. My father used to tell me, son, the table is the thing, not the fancy destinations, not the fancy anything. Just the table where we gather, just the ordinary chair, just whoever shows up Tuesday, just the fact that we are there. I thought I understood him, I thought I had it far, but I was hearing it like an adult when I needed it like a child. Open-handed, open-hearted, not already knowing, not already on my way out, not already going to the next thing on the list, but sitting in the gift of a table and a father, and a life that's worth the lift, worth the lifting of your eyes from the screen and from the floor, worth the lifting of your head to see what you've been living for. It's been right here, it's been waiting, patient as a prayer. Slow down, the good is here, the good is everywhere. Slow down, the good is here, in the Father and the table. Slow down, the good is here, in everything you're able to receive when you stop rushing, to receive when you get still. Slow down, the good is here, and always will be, always will. I took a walk last Saturday, no destination set, just walked until I found a bench, a little cold and wet, and I sat on the wet bench because something said to sit. And I watched a kid chase pigeons, not catching any, not one bit. And the kid was laughing anyway, pure laughing at the chase, not about the catching, not about the race, just the running in the morning, just the pigeons and the cold, just the laughing for the laughing. That's a thing worth more than gold. I sat and watched for 20 minutes, late for nothing, free Slow down, the good is here.
The kid was teaching me the thing my father
taught me at the table,
that the point is in the being,
not just in the able,
not just in the arriving,
not just in the done.
Slow down, the good is here.
The good is in the run.
A woman in my Thursday group
said she'd been so busy
that she hadn't read her Bible
in 2 weeks, and she felt dizzy
from the distance she had put
between herself and what she knew
was the anchor, was the center,
was the one thing
that was true.
And she looked a little sheepish,
like she owed us an excuse.
I said, I know that, dizzy,
I have worn those shoes.
most weeks I'm somewhere between
the anchor and the drift.
Slow down,
the good is here.
It's sometimes a hard gift to receive when you've been going
at the pace that life requires.
But the anchor doesn't move on you.
The anchor never tires. The anchor never tires of you
coming back around.
The anchor is the stillness
underneath the sound
of everything demanding,
of everything that pulls.
Slow down, the good is here.
That's where the spirit loves.
See back into the knowing,
back into the near.
Slow down, the good is here.
The good is always here. I called my father on a Sunday
just to say I heard him.
Finally, after all these years,
finally understood him.
About the table and the
ordinary, about the showing up.
He got quiet for a second,
then he said, fill up your cup
and sit down at the people
that you've got right in front of you. Slow down, the good is here.
And Sonnet always knew
how to find you, how to reach you,
if you let it come on in.
Slow down, the good is here.
Has always been
right here beside you.
Patient as the morning.
Slow down, the good is here.
That's the I used to think hallelujah was a word for mountaintop moments, for the big and the triumphant, for the answered prayers arriving.
But I found it in a Tuesday, found it in a parking lot, found it in a phone call from a friend I'd almost lost,
found it in the green light after 7 red ones in a row,
found it in the paycheck
that was just enough to go.
The distance to the end of a particularly hard month, found it in the small things,
found it in the blunt and ordinary moments
that I used to pass right through.
Ordinary hallelujah,
I keep finding them in you.
In the coffee made just right,
in the bus that didn't leave,
in the jacket with a pocket
I'd forgotten up my sleeve,
with exactly what I needed
for exactly what came next.
Ordinary hallelujah,
in the ordinary text. Ordinary hallelujah,
that's the one I sing.
Ordinary hallelujah,
for the ordinary things,
not just for the miracles,
the ones that stop your breath.
Ordinary
is what I wanna say. My daughter drew a picture of our family in the yard.
Stick figures in a sunshine,
Nothing hard. She put a halo on the dog.
she gave the tree a face.
She drew a circle around all of us.
She called it our safe place.
I put it on the refrigerator.
Stood there for a while.
Something in a child's drawing
Has a way of filing
through the Edo complication,
through the overthought and worn,
down to something very simple.
something newly born.
This is good,
This is given,
this is grace drawn in crayon.
ordinary hallelujah.
For the things worth carrying on.
Worth carrying on, worth the getting up, worth the ordinary morning, worth a half full cup, worth the dog with the halo, worth the tree with the face, worth the circle she drew around us,
Worth the calling it a place.
ordinary hallelujah.
From her refrigerator door,
Ordinary hallelujah.
couldn't ask for more.
Then a child who sees the safe place,
Then a dog who made the cut.
for a halo in a drawing.
Ordinary
Hallelujah.
for the small
Small theology
of people
who still draw. Ordinary hallelujah.
that's the one I'm
Most in awe.
I work with a man named Gerald.
He's been at the company 30 years.
He knows everyone's birthday,
Everyone's particular fears,
about the quarterly review,
about the parking situation.
he remembers what you mentioned.
In a passing conversation,
6 months back, a year ago,
he files it all away
and pulls it out exactly
when you need it on a day.
you didn't know you'd need it.
He'll say, how's your mother doing?
And your mother is doing better.
And he'll say, that's worth pursuing.
Every good report, every little win,
Gerald keeps a running tab
of the things worth celebrating.
Ordinary hallelujah, that's his gift.
That's what he has.
I wanna be a Gerald,
When I finally grow into
to the person I've been moving toward in all of this.
someone who remembers
Someone who files away
the details of the people
who are in my everyday.
because the details are the love part.
The details say, I see you.
Ordinary hallelujah
Is the language of the details too.
There's a verse I keep returning to,
About the lilies in the field,
how they don't do much of anything,
and yet they're unconcealed
in their beauty, in their givenness,
and they're just existing there. Ordinary hallelujah.
for the lilies without care,
Without the striving and the proving.
without the need to earn.
Ordinary hallelujah.
That's a thing I'm trying to learn,
To exist inside the given,
to receive what's freely here
ordinary hallelujah.
for this ordinary year
With its ordinary Tuesdays,
and its ordinary grace.
ordinary hallelujah. For this ordinary place.
I keep finding it around me,
Every time I slow enough
to notice what is already
present in the stuff of daily life and daily mercy.
daily bread and daily light.
Ordinary hallelujah.
Morning, noon, used to think that faith meant never having a hard day, that if you really believed it, the clouds would go away.
But clouds don't work like that,
and neither does the heart.
I learned that on a February, falling apart.
The job had gone, the savings,
The plan I had laid out,
and what I thought was solid ground
was full of doubt.
I sat inside my apartment
For 3 days, maybe 4,
I didn't pray, I didn't open
anything or any door.
But on the 4th day something
Came and sat beside me there,
not loud, not asking anything,
just quietly aware
of every single thing I felt, of every broken piece.
It didn't try to fix me fast,
It just offered peace.
the God who stayed,
When I stopped showing up
the God who stayed,
and kept on filling up
the space I left when I went quiet,
the space I left when I ran.
the God who stayed is the God I understand.
Now better than I ever did,
When everything was fine,
the God who stayed through all of it
is permanently mine.
A neighbor knocked on day 5, left soup outside the door,
Didn't ring the bell or linger,
just left it on the floor.
I found it getting cold out there,
I almost left it too,
but something made me pick it up,
something I barely knew.
I ate it by the window,
Watch the street go by below,
all those people living Tuesday,
all that ordinary flow.
and something cracked back open.
Something let the air in,
I wasn't fixed, I wasn't ready,
but I let the light begin
to come back through the window,
just a little at a time,
like a song you've almost forgotten,
coming back line by line.
you don't remember all of it,
But you remember enough
to hum along until it finds you,
until it calls your bluff.
the God who stayed,
Through soup and Tuesday light,
the God who stayed,
through 4 days out of sight,
didn't need me to be ready,
didn't need me to be clean.
the God who stayed is the God who fills the in-between.
The in-between is where he lives,
The crack between the stones,
the God who stayed is very good
at finding people home.
I talked to my pastor later,
Told him about the 4 days.
he didn't seem surprised at all.
He said, that's how grace stays.
He said it doesn't leave you,
When you leave the building,
it follows you into the apartment
into the rebuilding
of whatever fell apart.
however long it takes.
Grace is not on a schedule,
Grace is not on breaks.
I wrote that down and kept it
on a card beside my bed.
Still there 3 years later.
Still true, like he said. Still true, like he said. Grace is not on breaks.
It finds you in the quiet.
It finds you in the shakes
Of the hand that's barely holding.
of the voice that's barely there. The God who stayed is very good
At finding people.
where they are. The God who stayed,
That's who I talk about.
God who stayed,
Is who I can't go without.
not because my life is easy,
Not because the road is straight.
the God who stayed
Is why I still
show up and wait
at the table.
at the morning, at the ordinary chair.
The God who stayed
Through February,
is the God who's always there. I've got a friend who lost her mother.
in the middle of last spring,
She said she felt so angry
she couldn't feel anything
toward the faith she'd held for decades.
toward the prayers she used to say.
She said they felt like cardboard cutouts.
They felt far away.
I didn't tell her she was wrong.
I didn't fix a thing.
I just said I know that feeling.
I know what it can bring.
That season of the cardboard.
That season of the flame.
She cried a little, I cried with her. And that was that. And that was somehow something.
Because she came back Thursday.
So just knowing someone sat with her
Through the hard and gray,
made the cardboard feel a little
less like all there was.
She said maybe that's what staying is.
Maybe that's what love does.
I'm still not good at easy answers.
Still not good at fast.
Still believe the slow and stay you
Is the love that lasts.
the kind that sits through February.
Through the soup left on the floor.
Through the 4 days of the quiet.
Through the barely open door. That's the love I wanna carry.
That's the love I wanna give.
The stain. Come on in out of the weather. Pull up any chair you find. There's a table for the weary. There's a table for your kind. I don't know what you've been carrying. I don't know your road this week. But you made it to this morning, and that's something, so to speak. Something worth acknowledging, something worth a moment's pause. You are here, and that is something past whatever hurt or was. Wearing on you in the nighttime, wearing on you in the gray. Something brought you to this table, something helped you find your way. And I believe that something has a name and has a face, and sets a table for the weary in the most unlikely place. In a coffee shop on Tuesday, in a kitchen after dark, in the front seat of a car somewhere, crying in a parking lot. Because those are all the altars where I've met him, everyone. Not just in the Sunday building, not just when the week is done. Table for the weary, pull up and sit down. Table for the weary, no need to come around. With anything to offer, No need to have it straight. Table for the weary and the grace to make you wait. In the best way, in the held way, in the way that says you're seen. Table for the weary and everything between. I went through a year once where the table felt real far, where I couldn't find the quiet, where I couldn't find the star that I used to navigate by, used to know it like my hand. But that year I just kept walking through a dark I didn't plan, and the table was still set there, it had never moved an inch. I was the one who'd wandered, I was the one to flinch, away from what was offered, away from what was free. The table for the weary had been waiting there for me, had been waiting there for me. Candlelit, the chair pulled out everything I needed, everything I'd gone without. Table for the weary, I finally sat back down. Table for the weary, I finally stuck around long enough to feel the warmth of it, long enough to breathe. Table for the weary, long enough to just receive. Without explaining, without earning, without making it make sense. Table for the weary cost nothing, cost no pence. I try to set that table now for whoever comes my way, a friend who needs a phone call, a stranger having a hard day. I try to keep the candle lit, I try to pull the chair, to say come in, you're welcome here, to say somebody's there. Not because I have it figured out, Lord knows I never will, but because somebody did it for me, somebody does it still. Every ordinary morning, every complicated night, somebody keeps the table set, somebody keeps the light, somebody keeps the light on past the hour that makes sense, past the point of their own tired, past the reasonable expense of energy and effort, past when most would call it done. Somebody keeps the table, and I believe he's the one. There's a woman in our Thursday group who drives an hour each way. She doesn't say a lot out loud, but she shows up every day. I asked her once what keeps her coming all that way each week. She said, honey, it's the table, it's the thing I've come to seek. Knowing that it's set for me, knowing that my chair has got my name upon it somewhere,
of all the things I've held on to, and all the things I've let fall through. The one that stays the steadiest is knowing that you know me too. I've been in rooms where nobody knew anything about my life. Walked into a crowded evening, feeling like a knife. Through water just dividing, never really landing, never feeling seen or found. Never understanding how a person can be present in a room full up with sound and still feel like there's somewhere that they have never found. I know that feeling well enough, I've worn it like a coat. But something changed the night I really heard a certain note. Not a note from any instrument, more a word that landed clear. You are known here, you are wanted, you have always been right here. You know my name, not just the one they call me. You know my name, the one that's underneath it all. See, the one I barely know myself, the one I'm still becoming. You know my name, and honey, that's something that I can build a morning on, that I can build a life. You know my name, and that cuts through like light. I have a friend who always says he doesn't need the spiritual, keeps his life in what he can see, keeps it practical. I love him for his honesty. I never argue back, but sometimes when he's not looking, I can see the crack in the practical composure, in the keeping it together. The place where something's missing, like a coat in winter weather. Not a crisis, not a breakdown, just a little empty space, the shape of something that fits perfectly, but isn't in its place. A name that no one speaks, we're all looking for that knowing. We're all looking every week. You know my name before I learned to say it. You know my name, you know my name before I learned to pray it. Before I knew that prayer was just a conversation low. You know my name, and now I know that being known is not a small thing. Being known is everything. You know my name. Hear me say it, hear me sing. My mother named me after someone I never got to meet. A woman from a family who made the whole room complete. Apparently she walked into a room and everyone felt better. Not because she was so loud, but because she knew each letter of everyone around her, knew the particular weight of each name she ever said, and never showed up late to anyone's important moment,
anyone's hard night.
I've been trying to grow into
that name and get it right. Trying to know the people near me
the way you've always known,
trying to call each person by
the deepest name they own.
Because a name is not just letters,
it's a person standing there.
You know my name
means you see me,
you're aware.
There's a man who comes on Sundays,
sits alone beside the door,
orders just a water mostly,
never seems to want for more,
and somewhere warm to sit a while,
somewhere out of the cold.
Something about him carries
a story not yet told.
I didn't know his name for months,
just nodded when he came.
Then one Sunday I just asked him,
and he lit up at his name.
Said nobody here had asked him
in a long, long time.
Said it like a gift I'd given,
said it like a rhyme. He'd forgotten was still beautiful,
he'd forgotten still had sound.
I thought about that Sunday
every time I'm feeling found,
every time I'm feeling known.
I think about his face
when someone said his name out loud
and gave him back his place.
That's what you do for all of us,
that's what the knowing means.
You know my name
and say it, and suddenly I'm seeing.
You know my name,
you know my name.
In every quiet season,
you know my name,
you know my name. And that's enough of a reason
to get up on a hard morning,
to sit down at the end. You know my name,
and knowing that
I can begin again. You know my name,
you know my name.
and that's enough of a reason.
Of all the things I've held on to,
and all the things I've let fall through, the one that stays the steadiest is knowing that you know me too.
I've been in rooms where nobody. There's something about a bakery in the early morning hours, the smell of something rising before the world starts up. I've been waking up at 5 lately, not by any alarm, just something pulling me up gently, like a hand upon my arm. I make my coffee slow, I watch the window go from black to that particular shade of gray that says the light is coming back. I used to fight the early hours, used to want more sleep, but something in this season is a promise I should keep. With the morning, with the stillness, with the first birds on the wire, something in the quiet darkness feels like kindling before fire. Not a fire that burns and frightens, more the kind that warms the room, the kind that someone laid for you before you came home through the gloom. Bread and quiet, that's my morning now. Bread and quiet, I don't need to know the of everything that's coming,
of everything ahead. Just bread and quiet mornings,
and the hands that break the bread. I read a little every morning, nothing complicated or long,
just enough to set the compass,
just enough to find the song.
Underneath the day that's waiting, underneath the things to do,
a few good words before the morning
makes the whole day carry through.
My grandmother did the same thing,
sat before the house woke up,
same worn chair beside the window,
same old coffee in her cup.
She said, honey, this is how you
keep your feet upon the ground.
You find your stillness in the morning,
before the world starts making sound. Before the world starts making sound, you tend the quiet like a flame. Every morning is a mercy, every morning says your name. Bread and quiet,
she knew it long before me.
Bread and quiet, she passed it like a family.
Heirloom, something handmade,
something worn and true. Bread and quiet mornings,
she left them here for you. I brought a friend here Tuesday, she'd been having a hard time.
Couldn't name exactly what it was,
just somewhere past the line of managing and barely,
somewhere in the tired deep.
I didn't have a lot of answers,
didn't have a cure to keep.
So I made the coffee double,
pulled the good chairs to the light,
and we just sat together quietly,
like morning making things right.
She didn't say a lot at first,
just held her cup and breathed.
And somewhere in the second hour,
something in her eased.
She said, I didn't know
I needed
just to sit
without a plan.
I said, I know exactly.
Take whatever quiet can
give you on a Tuesday morning.
Take it with both hands.
Bread and quiet,
simple offerings.
That's how
grace expands. Bread and quiet,
it doesn't
take much room. Bread and quiet, just enough light to see across the room.
Enough warmth to feel it,
enough time to be still.
Bread and quiet mornings, and a God who always will show up in the ordinary,
show up in the small.
Bread and quiet mornings,
He shows up through it all.
The neighbor's dog is barking now,
the street is coming alive.
Someone's running late for something,
another one's doing fine.
The ordinary machinery
of a neighborhood at dawn.
And I'm here in my good chair,
watching all of it go on.
Grateful in a way I couldn't
have predicted years ago.
I was too busy looking forward,
too impatient for the slow.
But slow is where the good is.
Slow is where it lives.
Slow is where you finally notice
Everything that mornings give.
every Tuesday, every season,
Every ordinary day.
the bread keeps being broken.
Grace keeps finding its way
To the table, to the window,
to the chair beside the light.
bread and quiet mornings
Are the answer to last night. Bread and quiet.
Thank you for the small.
Bread and quiet.
Thank you most of all
For the mornings that keep coming, for the light that finds the...
Come sit a while. That's all I heard. Not in any language, just a feeling like a word.
I had a list of things to do. I had a full and busy mind. I had the kind of afternoon that leaves no room behind
For anything that isn't useful,
anything that doesn't move.
but something stopped me at the door
And pulled me to this booth.
this corner of this coffee shop,
This ordinary chair.
and said, put down your heavy list
And just be here. Just be here without proving.
just be here without plans.
Just be here like a child who trusts the holding of two hands. Come sit a while.
You said it's soft.
Come sit a while.
I put the list down, finally let it off.
My shoulders off my mind. Set it on the floor. Come sit a while.
That's what the grace was for. I ordered something warm,
Watch the window for a bit.
watch the people pass outside.
Watch the afternoon just sit.
Still and golden, unhurried,
The way October can.
and something in the stillness
Started making me a plan.
not the kind with bullet points,
Not the kind with steps.
just the kind where you remember
What it means to rest. What it means to rest now.
what it means to trust.
That the one who holds tomorrow holds today for us. Come sit a while.
No need to rush.
Come sit a while.
The world can wait for us.
I've been so afraid of slowing, so afraid to stop. Come sit a while.
And let me fill
Your cup.
There are people in this cafe,
Each one
this particular and personal
and quiet kind of truth,
that we are not forgotten,
that we are not alone,
that the God of every morning
calls this cafe home.
as much as any cathedral,
As much as any prayer,
you meet us where we wander to.
you find us everywhere.
You find us in the corner booth,
You find us in the rain.
you find us when we've wandered far and
Find our way again.
come sit a while.
Come sit a while.
No list, no load.
No list, no load.
Come sit a while.
You make the heavy light.
This is enough.
This is enough tonight.
Just here,
Just warm, just still,
just yours.
just yours. Come sit. I'm here.
I've been thinking about mercy, the way it shows up uninvited, the way it doesn't knock, just finds the door already open.
I wasn't looking for it on an ordinary day, just making coffee, reading slow, just trying to find my way
Through a week that had been heavy,
through a month that wore me thin.
when something soft came over me
And let the light back in.
no thunder, no great moment,
No words written in the sky,
just a quiet reassurance.
just a gentle reason why.
Why to keep on going?
Why to lift the cup? Why the morning always offers something to the waking up. Morning mercies, midnight proof,
The grace is on the roof
waiting for the sun to rise.
before it filters through.
Morning mercies, midnight proof
That you have never moved.
I was the one out walking.
You were always in this room.
I've had friends who asked me plainly
How I hold on to the hope
when the news is what it's been lately.
when it's hard to find the rope.
I tell them about the small things,
About the coffee and the light,
about the way the room feels different,
after a long and honest night,
of sitting with the questions,
of letting them be questions,
not forcing them to answers,
not rushing to the lesson,
letting them be questioned,
letting them just breathe,
finding that the holding
is its own relief. before it filters through.
Morning mercies, midnight proof.
I keep on finding you
In the ordinary places,
in the light inside.
inside this room.
There's a regulars here on Tuesdays.
Old man by the door
Orders one black coffee,
never seems to want for more.
he reads a worn old Bible
With a yellow legal pad,
writing something down each morning.
something that makes him glad.
I've never asked him what it is,
It isn't mine to know,
but whatever he is finding there,
it shows in how he goes.
out the door each morning,
Unhurried, warm and whole,
like a man who's had his breakfast,
like a man who's fed his soul.
I wanna go like that,
I wanna go like that,
I wanna leave that way
full of something good and quiet.
at the end of every day.
Morning mercies, midnight proof.
I'm learning to receive,
Morning mercies, midnight proof.
I'm learning to believe,
Not in the big and loud of it,
but in the still and small.
Morning mercies, midnight proof.
You're faithful
Through it all.
every morning.
Mercy.
Every morning.
Mercy.
There's a candle on this table, and a cup that's going cold, and a quiet kind of presence, deeper than I've known.
I came in from the rain tonight, didn't plan to stay this long. Sat down with my coffee, and I heard a gentle song.
Not from any speaker,
Not from any band,
just the kind of stillness
only you understand.
The room is warm around me,
The hour's getting late,
but I'm not in any hurry now.
I'm learning how to wait.
Waiting used to feel like losing,
Used to feel like standing still,
but now the waiting feels like something.
like a hand upon a sill. Open to the morning, open to the light.
Waiting feels like
Being held right here tonight. Still and know, that's all you ask of me. Still and know, just let it be.
I've been carrying so much
For such a long, long road. Still and know, and let you have the load.
There were years I ran from quiet,
Years I filled the empty up
with noise and plans and worry,
with a never finished cup.
but
Something in this season turned me toward the slow,
toward the kind of listening
that lets a person grow.
I hear it in the low light.
I feel
peace that doesn't hurry,
a love that doesn't loom above you. Settle soft beside, like the warmth inside a doorway, like a steady tide.
Still and know,
that's all you ask of me. Still and know, just let it be.
I've been carrying so much
For such a long, long road. Still and know, and let you have the load.
The coffee's gone completely cold,
I haven't moved in hours,
just sitting in the gentle dark.
counting unnamed blessings ours.
The ones I took for granted,
The ones I rushed right through,
the ordinary mercies
that were always coming from you.
I'm counting them back slowly,
Like a man who's found his keys,
somewhere obvious right there,
where they always used to be.
right there in the simple, right there in the near,
Right there in the breathing room of a night like here.
still and know,
I'm staying here a while,
still and know,
and find my way to smile. Not because it's easy, not because I'm through,